Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Men of Yoshiwara Kikuya. We are on Takeo's route, and we got the super happy ending from him in the last episode. In this episode, we are going to go after his normal ending, and then we're going to do his extras. So, in order to get his normal ending, we had to start the game again from 13th chapter. And since we're starting new from that chapter, we have zero likability with him. So we make the choices. Let's see. First, we need to say, I want to stay here. And then the other choice will be, Mother, help me. So let's see. I want to stay here. Oh, yeah, no differences in the text, I guess. But so here's Takeo's normal ending. His last chapter, The Cherry Blossoms. It was Takao and Masakusa and I. While the three of us were heading to Kikuya, Takao seemed grumpy from beginning to end. "What's the point of you coming?" Takao asked with a sour look on his face. "I thought I might be of help." "But you really don't like this. I can reconsider going with you." "Well, it's not that I really don't want you to come." "I know Iroha of Kikuya." "Huh? What?" Surprised at Masakusa-san's remarks, Takao and I look at each other. I too was a gentleman at Kikuya, and Iroha-san was the one attached to me. He was a strange boy with an unusual appearance, but armed with that beauty and alluring charm, he quickly rose to the top. And now he's a manager. Ah, memories. To think that you and Iroha were connected. The fact that you took care of Iroha before is a different matter from the present situation. His obligation to you isn't going to mean a thing." "I understand. That's not it." Masakusa-san put his hand into the inner pocket of his jacket. Then he pulled out a parcel. "I'd like this young lady to hold on to this." "Huh? Me? What is that?" "I really am suffering from illness, but it's not to the point where I can't work. I like to work." "What?" "So, all the money you sent me, it's right there in that parcel. I'm sorry, I should have told you much earlier. I felt that this was my final connection to you. Miss, if you really love Takao, won't you take this and buy his freedom?" But I never sent that much." "No, you did. This feeling alone is enough to make me happy." "Did you add to it?" Masakusa-san wouldn't confirm or deny anything. He just smiled gently. Perhaps Masakusa-san came here with money to add to the amount that was missing. "Takao." Takeo's eyes shined. A small tear was stuck in his eye. Takao smiled and shook it off. "That's the Takao I know well. The nobly strong and beautiful Takao." "How generous of you." "It goes to show that you are very highly valued." "Because you are my only son in this world. There is no fool in the world that would just watch you become unhappy." "Well then, miss, how about it? Can you do this for me?" Masakusa-san looked at me again, kindly and warmly, with eyes much like Takeo's. "Yes, of course." I tried my best to hold back my voice that seemed like it would shake with joy. I also answered with a smile. "I'm going to be together with the one who I love this much. There is no greater happiness anywhere." I looked up at Takao. The corners of his eyes were glistening. "Is this really okay?" "I don't care about anyone else except Takao." "Me too, Misao." Then Takao held my body close to his. He hugged me tightly, and I was nestled in his hot, large chest. That heat transmitted through my whole body. "Is it okay to be happy like this?" "Is it bad to be happy?" "No way. I'm just so happy it's terrifying." "I wonder if it's okay to feel this good." Excited, Takao rubbed his forehead against me as he held me tightly. My entire body was being embraced and touched by Takao, so much that it hurt. I felt hot and painful all the way through my chest. "Takao, I love you, Misao." Then we kissed each other deeply. I also felt scared. The more I thought about it, the more it made me feel like I was too happy, and that this could be a dream. I felt uneasy. But it wasn't a dream. This certain warmth that embraces me. This heat that takes my lips. Everything. This is all reality. You're not going to say it to me? That you love me? Takeo's bittersweet voice hit my ears. There's just no way that I could love anyone more than I love you. It's just impossible. Only Takao. I love only Takao. The cherry blossoms that night looked so beautiful. I remember that Takao had said one time, I want to see the cherry blossoms. From now on, Takao will be able to see the cherry blossoms with me as much as he desires. After that, buying his freedom proceeded without a hitch. Before the last cherry blossom petal fell, we became husband and wife. Misao, look at that! What beautiful cherry blossoms! So that is Takeo's regular happy ending, and we shall go on the sequel now. Sequel, The Cherry Tree in Yoshiwara. Someone is shaking my body. Though my body is refusing to wake up, I open my eyelids. Sorry. The first time I saw Takeo's apologetic face, and more than that, his voice was dark and sad. What happened? Probably because I was talking with a faded voice. He poured water from a pitcher and handed it to me. This type of concern was probably a relic from his time as a gentleman of the night. Thank you very much. Takao, you can't sleep? How much time passed since we got into bed? That is not clear, but from the fact that we could no longer see the moon from the window, I could guess that it had been a long time. A little. Hey, do you want to go see the cherry blossoms? They are not in bloom anywhere at this time, are they? I wondered what happened to him all of a sudden. Plus, look at the time. There's a place that we can go see them because it's this hour. This place you speak of, do you mean... You don't need to say anything more. As I imagined, he was talking about the cherry tree in Yoshiwara. Well, if it's decided, then why don't we go? But... that's where women go to meet men. Isn't it a little strange to go there to see the cherry blossoms? It's all right, because I'll be by your side. The feeling that I didn't want to go spread through my chest. But the feeling to respond to Takeo's request was large as well. As he pulled my arm, I quietly slipped out of the house. The place we visited was Yoshiwara's red light district. Just as I thought. I was praying that it would be beyond my expectations, but I sighed because it was just as I imagined. That's not the face you make when you're in the red light district. Come on, give me a smile. He pinched my cheeks and I put on a fake smile. You really can't lie, can you? You should enjoy yourself. Look around, isn't it just gorgeous? Contrary to the splendid atmosphere, I felt really uneasy. Takao, let's go back now. What's wrong? We just came here to see the cherry blossoms, so there shouldn't be an issue, right? Takao said that with an indifferent tone of voice. The men of the red light district are gentlemen of the night, so the other people probably won't think anything of it. But weren't you the courtesan of Kikuya? If someone here recognizes you, it would surely cause a commotion. Oh, what a beautiful man! That's true. Have you seen a man this beautiful before? Here and there, the number of women who turned their sights to Takao were increasing. When was that? I feel like I saw him at the courtesan procession. Takao, let's go home. At this rate, we'll be noticed. I pulled on his sleeves, but... What? It's fine. I'm not a gentleman of the night anymore. He slapped his hand on top of my head and stroked my head to calm me down. Even if an old acquaintance notices me, they won't approach me. Are you sure about that? My chest hurt. Because it just reminds me. Because I just imagine it. This is where Takao seduced and held so many women. No, but that's all in the past. But if it is in the past, would women really stay silent in front of a man this beautiful? Even if someone tried to approach me, I'm fine to refuse them by saying I'm Misao's partner, no? Yes, I guess so, but... If that happens, you're going to back me up, right? Huh? Takao winked his eye and began to laugh with gusto. You don't think that we might have to take effective measures to drive them away? I gradually began to understand what Takao was talking about. I don't think so. You're no fun. Once he had said just that, he turned his gaze toward the cherry tree. He looked up at the pink scenery. There was something nostalgic about his profile, and seeing it made me worry. I worried that he might want to return to Kikuya. Takao? Hey, Misao. I'm free, you know. Yes. It's great to be free. Takao smiled, showing his white teeth. Seeing his face, the multiple worries that I previously held all disappeared in an instant. This person's smile had free reign over my heart, and me as well. Knowing that, I let myself be manipulated by Takao. When I come here and look up, it makes me feel nostalgic. Yeah, it does. I'll never look at these cherry blossoms from that room again. It really is nostalgic. Do you want to return to that room? Like I would ever do such a thing. I know that. You don't need to put on a show. His throat trembled as he laughed. Takao laughed like that in the middle of the street in the red light district. He laughed with so much joy. That alone was enough to spread this joy to my heart. It's penetrating. So, you were looking up at the cherry blossoms like this? Yes. Which one is most beautiful? Well, that would be Misao right next to me. Again, saying things like that. Although it made me embarrassed, to be honest, I couldn't help but feel happy. To mask my embarrassment, I looked up at the cherry blossoms again. Just then, he gently wrapped both hands around my cheeks. Takao! The storefront was illuminated by many lanterns. Takao's eyes shined beautifully, and in those clear eyes I saw myself. We've come to Yoshiwara. A kiss isn't a big deal, right? He then calmly wrapped his hands around my hips. He came close to pick my body up. But in public? Is there some sort of problem? I feel like there might be quite a lot. I felt his gaze. I heard a shy, enviable voice. But don't worry about such small things, because the only thing in your view is my face. It was just as Takao said. Takao scooped up my chin in response. I grabbed his collar and stood on my toes. A moment like this, it's like we're both in our room. When I gave a small nod, Takao's familiar lips touched me. First, our lips gently laid upon each other's. Then that action slowly intensified. It began to feel like the two of us were really in that room in Kikuya. Takao's tongue spread my lips and entered my mouth. Just then... Huh? When I opened my eyes, my eyes met Takao's. It sounded like he heard the dry cough too. I forgot that I was being watched. Pay no mind to that. Before I replied, Takao's lips, that once separated from mine, were coming right back towards me. I wasn't sure if it was okay to accept him. Then I heard it again.
Just what is it that you're doing in a public place?
Then a scolding voice. Iraha-san. I pushed Takao's body away and turned my face to the side.
Good evening, miss.
He looked down on me with cold eyes, making me recoil. Oh boy, he's angry. Really angry. Iraha, what are you doing here?
There was a report of some suspicious people in front of Kikuya.
Suspicious? How rude. Which scoundrel would say that?
Actually, it's the attendant that I've trained at Kikuya myself. Is there a problem with that?
Don't get angry like that.
But it makes me want to get angry. Kissing in front of the store is an obstruction to my business.
I'm sorry. Even after bowing my head, I could feel Iraha-san's piercing gaze.
Don't get angry at me, Sal. Because I forced her to come with me, you know. I know that even without you saying it.
Iraha-san snapped at Takao and came closer to him.
So, do you want to return to your post?
He dropped a bomb. No, not at all.
I'm bringing my woman with me, and you're asking if I want to return to my post? Don't be silly. It's a joke.
That joke didn't sound like a joke to me.
Pardon me. It's just that this is the first time that I've seen a gentleman of the night happy like this.
Takao and I both widened our eyes after hearing Iroha-san's words. Is that so?
Yeah, everyone has walked their own unhappy path in their own way. Why do you know so much about it? Well, I guess it's just something I worry about. You normally have such a scary face, but you're actually pretty kind. Don't put me in the same category as selfish people like you, who does as they please. Enough with the lecture. Misao, why don't we head back? At this rate, we're not going to enjoy the cherry blossoms.
Takao, you don't have to say it like that. The fact is that we caused a nuisance. I kept those words in my mind, took his hand, and began walking.
Well, the next time we come to look at the cherry blossoms, we'll stop by and say hello. No, please don't do that.
That instant rejection stopped Takao in his tracks.
Not only the cherry blossoms, please don't set foot in Yoshiwara.
I don't think so. I'll do as I please.
It's people like you.
If I could stop him, I would.
Could you please put a leash on him? Oh, I think I have one that's just the right length. Let's see. Now where did I put it? You're kidding, right? No, I'm serious. I abide by the rules of Kikuya, and by extension the rules of Yoshiwara. I will not overlook conduct that disrupts those rules. It's not like I'm going to mess things up so easily for you guys.
Iroha-san seemed to acknowledge those words. Hearing those words, Iroha, in a not altogether bad fashion, laughed out through his nose.
Well, it's amusing to see you two are happy. But I don't think that anything too good will come out of coming back and forth to this place. Well, I'll be the judge of that. As it is, this place is where I grew up. And it's also the place where I met the woman that I love.
So he said. Takao-san laughed in a way that seemed truly happy. That big smile of his. Both Takao and I couldn't help but relax our cheeks. That's the kind of person he is. He has the ability to influence people. He is a strong and powerful person who is filled to the brim with life force.
Well then, I'll return to the shop. Best wishes to you.
Iroha-san turned on his heel to return to the shop. And to his turned back, Takao politely bowed. The many things around me I will value and love, and I will live on to my heart's content. I fell in love with everything about this person.
Shall we head back to our home?
Yes. And that was the end of the sequel. Now we shall read the date scenario. Date, the kiss.
Misao.
I could hear a whispering voice off somewhere in the distance. But I'm still really sleepy. Can't respond to that voice.
You look like you're sleeping comfortably. I feel bad to wake you up.
I hear a snicker and I react a little to that voice. Slowly I began to awake from the slumber.
But at this rate, you probably won't wake up.
As he said those words, I felt something warm touch my cheek.
Did that wake you up?
I heard a smooching sound as he sucked my skin and released it. That continued many, many times.
Oh, now you're pretending to sleep?
What are you doing? When I fluttered my eyes open, before me was Takao's face gloating over me.
It's called a kiss. You know it quite well, don't you?
I know the... As if to interrupt what I was saying, he gently bit my bottom lip. And just when I thought he had let go, he then immediately began to lick my lips with his smooth tongue.
Seeing your sleeping face really lights my fire.
What are you talking about? So early in the morning? He held me close. Takao's legs spread my legs apart and went in between mine.
You say that, but this is what you were hoping for now.
I was not. Come on, get away from me. And to be staring at me as I'm waking up. It's really embarrassing.
Oh, what's wrong? Don't turn your face away.
He grabbed my jaw and our gazes locked. My face is still half asleep. And I think you have a case of bedhead. Takao widely opened his beautiful eyes and then laughed out loud.
We've been living together every single day, so I've been used to this for quite some time. I see, however.
Takao stared at my face some more.
I'm supposed to be used to seeing you like this. Tirelessly thinking that you're cute every day. Could be the weakness of falling in love. What bliss, Misao.
Yes. Once he says it like that, there's nothing that I can do. I'm just so happy and I love him so much. It makes my heart feel so tight. That's right. Like Takao, I'll never get tired of this. A fearless smile came across Takao's face, and his tongue crawled its way to my neck. Occasionally, he would make sucking sounds, and the embarrassment of this made my body recoil.
It's better to suck your skin in the morning.
Is that so? If I hadn't shut my eyes tight, I wouldn't be able to have a real conversation with Takao. When I thought about his alluring eyes looking at me, I just wanted to die of embarrassment. And at the same time, I could die from joy.
Oh, but could it be because this is morning instead of night? You're acting so shy. You're terrible.
Takao said that while giving his usual laugh. If you know that, then please stop.
You don't like it, do you?
Takao did not stop like I asked him to. With that wild abandon reminiscent of a cat, he teased me as he indulged me. Just then, the sliding door opened with a shh sound.
How long are you going to sleep until?
Just as Takao had straddled himself on top of me. Mother! It was quite surprising. Without thinking, I strongly pushed Takao's body, but Takao's body wouldn't budge an inch. Moreover, Takao turned to my mother without a care in the world.
I would appreciate it if you would call from outside.
I did many times. It seems like you didn't notice at all. So I came in like this. My mother said that as if nothing had happened. But if she was calling out, then that means... Just how long has she been listening to us? The more I thought about it, the more my face became hot with shame. Takao, you idiot! I threw a pillow at Takao's face.
Ow! What were you trying to do by bashing my face up?
I didn't bash anything. Now get out of the way.
Yes, all right.
With a reluctant look, Takao got off from on top of me. I hurried to fix my ruffled pajamas.
Come when you're ready to go out.
Did something happen?
It's from Masazuka-san. We got a request to deliver this item. From my father? Why do we have to go?
Can't you understand a parent's feelings? Well, the parcel is ready, so hurry up and get ready. All right.
Oh, it's been quite a while since we've been back to the mainland.
I clutched Takao's arm and walked with him so that he wouldn't stray away.
Oh, it looks like there's some good-tasting food over there.
Yeah, that's true. Takao, where are you going? With a joyful face, Takao rapidly moved forward. The restaurant that he mentioned before was totally in the opposite direction.
No, I thought that the grilled squid over there looked tasty, too. What do you think? It smells good, right?
Yeah, it does. After that, we went back and forth from here and there. Takao showed absolutely no signs of settling down. Because there were a lot of people, I held on to him. But I didn't expect that I would be the person to stop him from wandering around by himself. Takao, please wait! Gasping for air, I pulled Takao's arm.
Oh, sorry. Looks like I got wrapped up in all the fun. I moved around a little too freely.
I guess it's all right. But Takao, do you really like the mainland that much? His eyes were glimmering like a child as he tried to take everything in. That's what it looked like.
I guess you can say I like it. Well, probably because it's a curious place. I don't know when I'll be back here. So, isn't it all right to enjoy it to its fullest extent?
As he laughed, he scratched his head, as though he was embarrassed. "I like to see you free, Takao. But for the time being, we need to deliver this item." "Oh yeah, that's right. If we're too slow, we won't be able to go back home. Shall we go? I wonder if my father's at home." "My mother took care of everything and has already contacted him." This time he walked slowly to match my pace.
Thank you for coming. Ka-chick.
"Excuse me, sorry to bother you like this." When we came to deliver the package, Masazuka-san looked discouraged. It was easy to tell.
No, it's rare to have guests over. I'm glad, really I am.
Takao quickly began to drink the tea that was put out. There was a bit of shock somewhere in his face. "It's a bit suspicious that you specifically asked us to meet you here, you know?"
No, I really am glad.
"Well, I think I can guess why you're acting like this, am I right?"
I guess so. I was hoping that Misao's mother would come.
Masazuka-san said that while sitting deeply in his chair.
Just as I thought. I have a job, so I can't go there easily. But I thought that she might come if it was for a job.
I see. I'm sorry that it was us who came instead."
No, I'm very glad that I could see my dear son.
"So, you don't need to say something like that."
But I'm not lying.
Well. You shouldn't say mean things like that either, Takao." I stroked Takao's dissatisfied face, and then turned to Masazuka. About my mother. It seems that she's worried about you, Masazuka-san."
Huh? What do you mean?
"Perhaps she thought that it was embarrassing for you to come and see her son, and that's why I think she purposely sent us out on this errand."
I see. Which means that your only choice is to muster up the courage to come and see her. But that's not an easy thing to do. It's pretty difficult.
Huh, and you're just going to give up? Masazuka-san shook his head vigorously.
I thought that we'd never be able to see each other again, so I don't want to lose this chance.
Well then, you have to start by seeing her.
I would never imagine there'd be a day when I'm rooted on in my love life by my son.
It just irritates me to see you all gloomy. Well, wouldn't it be better to, create an opportunity?
That's right. I think that's a great idea. So, what could be a reason for her to come see me?
Oh dear, look. You don't get her to come see you. You have to go to her yourself.
Oh, I see. Oh, I guess I can't get rid of old habits from when I was a gentleman of the night.
He then placed his hand on his chin and began to ponder seriously. Were you really a top seller, Kikuya? Takeo-san muttered, this quietly next to me. It certainly cast some doubts. He was acting unsteady like it was his first love. He seemed so innocent, like he didn't know the taste of a woman's lips. Then Masazuka-san's gaze stopped on me. Huh?
I have a good idea.
Huh?
If I have a grandson, then I can make the excuse that I have to come see him, right?
Huh? Even if you say right, that puts me in a tough spot. I mean, a really tough spot. And it's not like I can just make one that easily. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know when that would happen, but, you should do your best to see her on your own. Slam. It was the sound of the door being locked. What? No way! Masazuka-san! Masazuka-san! Ka-chick, ka-chick. What the heck? Cruelly, the doorknob would only turn about halfway. But it won't budge any more than that. It seemed that we're locked in. With Takao, just the two of us. What a sore loser. What, is he going to keep them locked in there for like months until she gets pregnant or something? Force them to do it every day? Take some pregnancy tests? Slide it under the door? Standing behind me, Takao quickly placed his hand under the door. And his other free hand was wrapped around my waist. Takao. Well, I like you, Takao.
And
I do want a child someday.
a child between you and me, Misao, would be pretty cute.
Yep, but we can't do that here. With one arm, Takao lifted my body. Takao, I told you already.
I know.
What? It would be meaningless to kick my legs about in protest. While still lifting me, Takao carried me over to the sofa. Then he sat me down. Takao rolled onto the sofa and lay down, then put his head on top of my thighs. Huh? Takao glanced upward at me.
I won't do anything.
Huh?
Well, like I said, I won't do anything.
Oh, I see. That's good.
If you're going to be that relieved.
Takao extended his fingers and squished my lips between his fingers. What are you doing?
You're going to make me feel like doing it.
Huh?
Indeed, having a stage set up for us, it doesn't put me in the mood. And by my real father? Geez, just what is he thinking?
The part of you that says ridiculous things is similar to him.
I'm not that reckless of a human being.
Takao closed his eyes in a sulking manner. A childlike innocence and a man's fearless looks. Takao's charm lies in that odd pairing. If we have a child, I hope it's like you, Takao. I opened my eyes and was perplexed by his questioning gaze. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean anything by that. On that island, what kind of fate will a man follow? Takao knew this personally. Realizing that I made a thoughtless remark, I rushed to apologize.
It doesn't really matter. If it's you, you're not going to sell into the red light district, right?
Of course! If it'll be hard to live on the island, then we could move to the mainland.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, if I do that, at least my father will be happy.
Yeah, that's right.
I still want it to be just the two of us.
He put out his hand and touched my cheek. Oh, that warmth. I too want to cherish our time together for the time being.
I don't want to let anyone interrupt my time with you. I'm sorry, but it doesn't look like he'll be meeting our child anytime soon.
I'm also still okay, because I don't have enough time with you, Takao. Takao nodded, closed his eyes, and then puckered his lips. I knew that as a signal to kiss him. I pressed what he wanted onto those lips of his. That's the end of the date scenario, and we can take a look at his gallery here. Let's see. Yep, we got all of his pictures. Did I get all of, the other guy's pictures before? I think I might have been missing one. Was I Hayabusa? Had I gotten all his pictures? Yeah, he had very few. Why is that? That's odd. Alright, so the next guy we're going to date is Kagura. He's the one that I wanted to do most, but like I said, I wanted to get used to, you know, kind of establish the other guy's voices before I got to Kagura's story. Because I don't want to be stumbling around with lines as much in his version. But I think I'm ready to take him on now. So, I hope you might join me for some of my future videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.